Hey guys, and welcome to another video. It feels weird to just be filming a video in my coat, but I don't need to explain to you guys that it's always cold in my flat, and so I feel like you'll understand why I'm wearing my giant coat inside, sitting down, filming a video. So when I sat down today, I didn't really know what video I was going to film. I was going to film about how my experience moving to the UK went, and I have a few questions from a lot of people asking me things like, do I regret it? How was like saving money to fly over here, and just little things, and I will address that in another video, but I just didn't feel like speaking about it today, which is completely fine. And also I should note that I feel like anxious today, and so if I'm if I'm either speaking quickly, my thoughts are all over the place, or if I'm like taking long breaths, then you know it's just because, you know, I'm not feeling my hot self, and that's perfectly okay. As you would have guessed from the title, today I'm going to speak about why I don't drink alcohol. And I don't think this is something I have ever really shared on my YouTube channel. It's not something I speak about really ever. I have never had like a full alcoholic drink. So I know what all sorts of alcohol tastes like because I've had little sips and things, but I've never sat down and had like a glass of wine or a glass of champagne or anything to myself. And this has been a complete choice by me, and I'm going to sort of delve into why. Growing up, when it got into the age where like everyone started drinking and partying and stuff, I was more reserved and I was more focused on like my schoolwork, and at the time I was also going through like eating disorders and anxiety and depression, and that sort of was the bulk of my focus rather than going out and partying. I never really went to any parties growing up. I went to the odd few, but I don't even remember alcohol being a big part of it. And then when I was at university, I find that university is a lot different in Australia than it is in the UK. In the UK, there's like a huge drinking scene. Whereas in Australia, because everyone tends to, like, this is a generalization, but it tends to happen a lot more. People stay at home with their parents. And so I would find that there wasn't a big university culture per se, because everyone was just coming to uni for their classes or for their lectures, and then they just go home, or then they would go to work. It was more so in your social circles or in your work circles where people would go out and drink and things like that. And of course there were pub crawls and stuff. It never really was huge within that sphere, so I never really got exposed to it too much. And also I think through watching my parents drink, it kind of put me off a little bit. They are quite big drinkers, I would say, social drinkers, and you know, they drink when they're at home. And I just saw how it can change people. And for me, I mean, I'm a control freak by nature. I just didn't want to be in the position where I couldn't control the way I was thinking, or I couldn't control the way I was speaking or acting. That to me freaks me out, for starters. And it's just not the type of person that I want to be. And I can't disclose like 100% the way that I feel, because there'll be people watching this that will be quite sensitive to that and may get offended through some of my beliefs. So I am not going to say anything about it. But I want to know that in a time of crisis, I'm going to be there to help someone, and I'm gonna be sober. Like, I don't want to ever have to drink and worry about like, oh, what if I need to pick someone up, or what if I need to go help someone. I know that's such a weird little thing, and most likely, like, if I was drinking and there was an emergency situation, I would be totally fine, but it's just something that's always in the back of my mind. Also, in a way, like, I kind of like, alcohol is a drug, alcohol is a toxin to the body. The fact that when you drink alcohol, it changes you, it makes you feel like crap the next day, and it can even like make you throw up. I don't want that in my body. Like, I really don't. I don't want something that's gonna elicit that response in my body. I only like to put things like, I'm acting like I'm some sort of like health guru, which I'm not. I only like to put things into my body that are going to serve some sort of purpose. Like, you know, I'm going to eat fruit and vegetables to give me vitamins and minerals. I'm going to eat chicken because it gives me protein and health. And I feel no real need to have alcohol in my life, in my diet, because it doesn't bring me joy. Quite frankly, it tastes horrible, and I don't want it to change me. And then that sort of leads on to the next big part of it, which is the part that I don't really speak about. And it's that Well, first of all, you know, you can read all of the literature. Alcohol and anxiety are like the worst mixture ever. Alcohol is a depressant as well, and I did not need that in my life. I did not need more issues. There is a family history of alcoholism. So my dad's brother, so my dad's uncle, I suppose, he was an alcoholic. I don't think he died of alcoholism, but I think he died from complications related to the high amount of alcohol he was consuming. And I know that it runs in my family to have quite an addictive personality, and I know that I have quite an addictive personality, and I'm a very much like a all or nothing type of a person, which is why I haven't drank it at all, because right now I've, you know, got it on nothing. It does play with me the thought that what if I were to start drinking and it would make me feel relaxed, because you know that people drink to relax, and that's perfectly okay. People drink to have a good time, but what I don't want to happen for me is for me to like have a few wines or whatever and be like, oh my god, I feel like so relaxed, I feel so chill, I feel so good, and then want more of that feeling, because it's, you know, it's common nature, what's the word, human nature. If something makes us feel good, we gravitate to wanting more of that. And so if I drink and it makes me feel good, I'm gonna want to drink more. And I don't want to get in the position where I'm relying on something to make me feel good. I'm like, oh, once I get home and I have a few wines, I'll be okay. I don't ever want to be in that mindset. So for me personally, to never get there, I feel it's better to just abstain from drinking. That obviously isn't going to work for everybody, and there is such thing as moderation and balance, and I'm sure, again, if I did want to drink, I could do so in a moderate way. It's just something I never really want to fall into. But on the whole, like, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything at all. When, like, I don't go out a heap anyway, and when I do, I just drink like Diet Coke, or I just drink water. It's not really anything I've had issues with. I think a lot of it, thankfully, is because I'm in the fitness industry. So if I just say, you know, I'm into fitness, everyone just kind of gets it and leaves me alone. What I will find is that over here in the UK, there's been a little bit more pressure on me to drink. Or like back in Australia, when I would tell people I don't drink, they're like, oh, that's really cool. But over here, when I tell people, it's kind of a different reaction. They're like, what? Because I never quite realized that this is a country full of alcoholics. And I mean that in just like the jokey sense, not literally. So I have had a bit more of a tougher time over here than back in Australia. And there have been times, like on last Friday, the lady I work for, you know, she poured me a glass of Prosecco, and she's like, I want you to drink this, I want you to drink this, because she knows that I don't drink. And I had a few sips because I'm like, I really can't get out of this situation. And I just didn't like it. It made my throat all burny, and I don't want to go back on my word. You know, this is something that I stand for, and this is something that I believe in. And I guess it would just, I feel like it would make me a hypocrite in a way if then I just started drinking. But having said that, I have completely nothing against drinking whatsoever. People like then think that I'm judging them for drinking, which I'm so not. Like, please go drink, have a good time. I just choose not to do it myself. Like, literally, I have no issues with people doing it. And that's my whole philosophy in life, I suppose. I know that, like, I have my opinion, you have your opinion, and that's really cool. We live in a democratic, open society where we are allowed to believe and think and feel what we like, and that is what makes humanity beautiful. And so I'm never going to be preaching, I'm never going to say you shouldn't drink alcohol because it's a toxin and it's gonna do all this to your body and oh my goodness. Or if my friend's having a drink, I'm never gonna be like, why are you having that drink? I'm never gonna judge them for a choice that they're making. It's just not worth it. And you know, I spoke about this in the veganism video I did last year, where, you know, I say, like, if you want to be vegan, cool, go have a good time, eat some fantastic chickpea burgers, like, they're nice, but that's just not something that I feel would work for me. And so I think through having that attitude, it's allowed me to be open-minded in other ways, and it's allowed other people to realize that I'm not doing this as some sort of movement or some sort of like idea. I'm just out living my life, really. That's the whole of it. But I think it all comes down to how you handle peer pressure. For me personally, I don't give in to peer pressure ever. Like, I've got my beliefs and I've got where I want to stand, and not much could ever really waver that. But I know that for some people, peer pressure can be really, really tough. and it's hard to say no to your friends, especially I feel like more so for males. It's hard to say no because you don't want to like get teased, or you don't want them to like give you a hard time. But at the end of the day, I think what looks stronger mentally for you is to stick to what you believe in, rather than giving into something because of what other people are pressuring you to feel. I just don't think that that's right. I mean, sometimes people, they don't even know their own beliefs yet. I think for the whole, it's nice to have your own set of values and your own sets of opinion, whether that is different from the majority. It makes you you know? I wouldn't be who I am if I just disregarded the fact that alcohol isn't a part of my life and I just went and drank just for the sake of it. And so this video is so weird and so random, but I hope this gives you an insight onto the reasons why I personally choose not to drink alcohol. I'd be curious to know if you will drink and how you approach the situations down below. And yeah, let's have a little chat about it. Let's see where we get to. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.